Okay, so I know it's been a few weeks since my last video, and that's because I've been pretty busy despite anything that the Russian woodworker says. And just to sum up the past few weeks for you, it's went something like this. First of all, I've been pretty busy with schoolwork, and in case none of you guys know, I'm actually homeschooled, which means I wear pajamas all day and wake up late. This is actually my senior year, and I'm trying to graduate a little early. That way I can get my diploma sent out to me, and then I could be legally promoted to the position of closer of my job at a Subway. I also recently took segment 2 of driver's ed, which means I had classes to go to like an actual public schooler. And now I've got my license. So I've been taking out my truck for truck rides lately and doing truck stuff. And after all this, I realized I really haven't done too much wood turning lately, and that's kind of where this video starts. So, here we go.
Okay, so it is a pretty nice day outside today. Sorry, my throat's just a little bit hoarse right now. Coming through with a cold, but I'm still gonna go out in the shop and try to turn something for an upcoming demo I'm doing this March. So I've got my wood, it's a piece of cedar, and what we're gonna do is slab it this way into some endgrain bowl blanks, and we're gonna do natural edge flower bowls. So I've got my chainsaw behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and rip these up into some blanks.
Okay, so now that the music part of the video is over, let's go on to the part where I actually talk about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So, these bowls are in an endgrain wood orientation. So for those of you who don't know what that is, basically, my wood grain is running parallel to the bed of my lathe like a big spindle, rather than a side grain bowl where the grain is going up and down. Side grain, in my opinion, is way easier to turn than end grain. It's way easier to cut. End grain is just brittle. It's hard, and especially when you get a wood like cedar, which is kind of a soft, punky wood, it can be a nightmare to get a smooth cut. So I have two pieces of advice for turning end grain. One is keep an edge on your tools, keep them nice and sharp. Sharp tools are your friends. Dull tools make mistakes. Also, when you are cutting the wood, make sure you start all of your cuts at the widest point on your piece, which would be the outside lip of the bowl, and push the wood down to the center. That way you're only cutting side grain, and it's going to be way easier to get a smooth cut. I'm finishing all these pieces with automotive grade lacquer. Here I'm thinning it down 3 parts lacquer to 2 parts of thinner, and I'm spraying it out of my gravity fed HVLP gun. All I'm looking for when spraying the finish onto my pieces is a nice even film across the whole thing. I want it to wet up and I want it to look nice and uniform across the surface. You just want to keep an eye out for dry spray and want to keep a nice even wet finish on all surfaces. I finished on about 12 coats of this lacquer. Okay, so here is the first bowl that I turned out of these blanks. This one is totally done. I've got probably about 10 coats of that lacquer on here. It's really glossy and it's really shiny. This is the second one that I was working on and it is done. And right now all I'm doing is trying to build up more of that automotive lacquer finish on there. Then this one will also be done. I do have one more blank. This is so far what I'm doing with it, and I had a slightly different idea with this one. I wanted to sort of bring this lip around and make sort of like an overflown extension of the bowl. So on the other bowls, the lip kind of just goes up and away or kind of comes out a little bit, but this one's kind of like a waterfall. It's sort of coming under a little bit. All I need to do is hollow out the inside, and I'm going to get to that later on, so I won't show you guys that, but it'll probably look almost exactly the same as the other one. So you guys get the idea of the process. Hollowing out end grain is it's a struggle. It takes a while. It's really nasty stuff to try to cut with the bowl gouge because it kind of wants to chip out all the time. It's soft wood. It's hard to get a clean surface off of it, but it does have some really cool looking grain patterns when you pull it off. Looks pretty nice. And that's it. So thank you all for watching the video. Subscribe, like, comment. I love hearing from you guys. And stay tuned for my next one. Should be soon this time. And I will see you all then. Thank you very much for watching.